Hey, it's Jazz at Red Panda Reads. Today I'm going to talk to you about some of the books I got during the festive period. I'm really excited to read all of them and I'm hoping to share that excitement with you. I got 4 non-fiction books and 6 fiction books. And let's start. So the first book I'm going to talk about will not be a surprise to anyone and was not a surprise to me, and that is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I am going to be reading this book with my book club during January. I will put the Discord link below, which is basically a platform which is really accessible for both text talk and voice chat and is a great place to discuss books. I will put my link below, and this time I will make sure it doesn't expire, unlike last time. But this is the book that we are going to be reading, and I've heard only positive things about it. Matt Haig is an author who has written a lot about mental health because he has suffered with mental health and suicidal ideations in the past. And this is one of his fiction books that basically takes place, I believe, inside this magical library where you can go and see where your life would have gone if you'd made a certain decision at a certain time in your life. And all these different books will show you what could have been. So I'm so excited about this, and it's just beautiful. The next book I've got is considered to be a sci-fi feminist novel, and this is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. This book I had actually never heard of before, and I know very little about it. From reading the back, it says 2 people, until recently strangers, find themselves on a long, torturous and dangerous journey across the ice. One is an outcast forced to leave his beloved homeland. The other is fleeing from a different kind of persecution. What they have in common is curiosity about others and themselves, and an almost unshakable belief that the world can be a better place. So it looks like it's a story of a journey of friendship and love, and it's really widely acclaimed as a fantastic novel. So I cannot wait to read it. And I feel it's a really good winter read. It just kind of feels kind of bleak and snowy, which, take away the snow here, but in January, bleak it definitely is. So I'm looking forward to reading that. The next book is The Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. So I discovered Naomi Novik this year. I picked up one of her books from the Temeraire series in a charity shop, which is a story about dragons in the Napoleonic War, and I absolutely adored it. Never read any of her stuff before, and I saw she was getting a new book out, and this has been described as kind of magical schools crossed with dark academia. And I get the impression that if you end up in this school, it's harder to get out than you would anticipate. And what I love about it, and it's a good thing I am a fantasy fan because I love maps in books, and this is just absolutely gorgeous. The next book is another one I asked for, and it is another Sarah Crossan book. I read 2 of her books this year. Her first adult one, Here is the Beehive, and also Moonrise, which was about a boy who's reconnecting with his brother who's on death's row, which was absolutely fascinating. And all of her books are written in verse, and I now have Toffee, which is a book that says it explores the idea of identity, mental health and friendship. I know nothing else about it. I am so excited to read this. I love her work so much. Can I say that enough? Probably not. But yeah, hoping to get through all her novels this year and hoping that she's going to be writing more. Next up is another classic, and it is a classic I never heard of because it appears I have not read many classics, and that is The Master Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov, who is a Russian author who wrote in Soviet Russia. And apparently when this book was initially released in the 1930s, it was banned, it wasn't allowed. And then it was re-released in 1960 and was censored. So I'm super curious. But I think this is now the original novel. And what it says on the back is that one hot spring, the devil arrives in Moscow, accompanied by 2 demons, a beautiful naked witch and a huge black cat with a fondness for chess and vodka. I mean, it sounds great. So the last book I have in my fiction pile is a crime novel. So I've not read many crime novels, and this is the first book in the Frankenstein series by Dean Koontz, and this book looks like it takes those characters from Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein and puts them into the 20th century in New Orleans, and then murders going on. And I think it sounds exciting. It sounds fast-paced. The only thing I'm worried about is I adore Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I absolutely love it. It breaks my heart what happens to the creature and how he is turned into a monster because of Frankenstein. And when I've read different portrayals of the monster in more modern books, such as The Curious Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, I haven't always felt comfortable with how kind of almost he's been portrayed as quite evil. However, you could argue that wouldn't be a surprise considering his upbringing. Let's move on to non-fiction. So the first of those books is actually by a YouTuber, and I didn't discover YouTube really till this year. I mean, I knew it was a thing, but I just didn't understand why people watched it. I had no interest in it. And then I found BookTube and I'm hooked. So the author who I'm going to be talking about is Hannah Witton, and the book is The Hormone Diaries, The Bloody Truth About Periods. So I discovered Hannah Witton through her more lifestyle and book channel, which isn't a surprise that was recommended to me, but she actually has a channel focused on sex positivity, contraception, and also living with a stoma bag, because she has a stoma. And I just find her so inspirational. I love how normally and comfortably she talks about sex. I'm really passionate about contraception, starting a dialogue, talking about it. Yeah, love Hannah Witton's channel. Would completely recommend. And she's written 2 books. This is the second of 2 books she's written. And this one is about everything from periods to hormones and how they affect our lives. So cannot wait to read this. And the next book is actually a book that was recommended on Hannah's lifestyle channel, and that is Fattily Ever After by Stephanie Yeboah, which talks about being black, your body positivity, fat shaming, all those different type of things. And it just sounds really interesting and really empowering, and I think I could learn a lot from reading this and how I view the world. And it's absolutely beautiful inside. Let me just find it. Absolutely gorgeous inside, and I cannot wait to read this. Next up is Lowborn by Kerry Hudson. And this book talks about Kerry Hudson's experience of growing up in an extremely poor area of the UK, and then her going back years later and reflecting on those experiences. Sounds like a great read. And finally, I have The Shock Doctrine by Naomi Klein, who talks about disaster capitalism. It looks like a very heavy read. You know, when the writing just looks like it's been crammed onto the page and there's hardly any margin, and the writing is tiny. But I will be stepping in and out of this one, and I will learn, hopefully lots. So those are all the books I've got for Christmas. Don't forget to join my Discord just for bookish fun, or to join my book club and to read the Midnight Library with us during January. It's going to be very casual. You can read it at your own pace, and everyone can just kind of give their ideas and opinions. And then if you're interested, I'm considering doing a live stream at the end of the month where we share our thoughts. So take care, everyone. These are crazy times. I can't imagine how difficult it is for so many of you out there. and I'm sending you my love, sending you a red panda happiness, because what can I say? They make me happy. Take care, and I will see you all in the new year. Bye bye.